himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
going down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it. Medeiros
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Hello everybody and welcome to Oulton Park for the penultimate round of the iGPFun F3 League for the first season of 2024. It's a shortened 10 race calendar here for this first season of the year, I should say. And Oulton Park is where we will see our penultimate round and around where we could see the championship settled here tonight, with Brent Ruiz currently leading by 24 points. He very much has the opportunity to have a bit of a leisurely day in 1 week's time and enjoy his championship win, but that's if he puts in the work here this evening, of course, around Oulton Park. My name is Ewan Leary alongside James Parfitt here for the penultimate round. We'll be there for the final one, of course, as well. And James, we're looking forward to the end of the season, although with last week's results and at Zandvoort, where Antonio Jimenez, Brent Ruiz's most feared rival, took his drop week. Actually, he didn't have a very good week at all. He's really dropped points, unfortunately, and that means that Brent Ruiz has a very, very realistic chance of taking the championship here tonight.
Yeah, he has. There's 23 points between Jimenez and Ruiz. So Jimenez is going to need a little bit of a miracle if he wants to be able to take the victory. So I'm really excited for this one. There's 34 cars in the session. We might only get 32 on track though, but I think to keep an eye on what Jimenez is going to do and how he's going to play this. He knows he needs to be up the front. He knows he needs to take the win. Brent Ruiz currently at the moment is fourth, so if he wants to try and get past Brent Ruiz, he's got to get past him on track, and that isn't always easy. So I think overall, as you say, I think Brent Ruiz has probably locked this up, but let's bring up the standings there for you.
Let's see where we are before this race actually gets underway. Brent Ruiz leading by 23 points. I think I said 24 earlier. 23 points is the gap between the first two. Then it's Mackenzie Rooney, who is 24 points back, and that battle for second place is quite close because Evan Way and Lee Aberdeen are quite close in attendance. Luca Verani has the mathematical chance of winning the title here too in 6th place, but Kevin Dremster I don't think does from 7th. Then it's Will McIntyre-Jones, who dropped out of contention with the last round at Zandvoort. He didn't score enough points, unfortunately, and so drops down. Andy Flint and Ivan van der Hoek round at the top 10. Below 200 points now, by the way, with Rinus Coutinho and Thibaut Roulard, for example. Adam Towsmer another point back. Then it's another point to Ben Goyet and Pedro Suarez to round out the top 15. So it is a pretty spread out top 15 at this stage. It's a shortened season, of course, but all eyes will be on Brent Ruiz here. I believe by my calculations, by the way, that he only needs to finish in the top 12 here today to be crowned champion. It's looking pretty likely that at the end of today he will be champion and he'll be able to relax a little bit next week in the season finale.
Well, technically he'll be a double champion, being that if he wins the overall, that should mean he wins the rookies, but he is 9 points back from Mackenzie Roon. 9 points in front of Mackenzie Roon in the rookies. So there's a good chance that Brent Ruiz in his first season has come in and possibly done the double. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. Just waiting for the last few cars to get over the line from completing their laps, of course. This is Vladislav Potapenko there as well. We've got Talmsma, Giovanni Solito out on the circuit still once more. So there's a few people still left to finish off their laps, and then, oh, well, as I speak, there we go. They are done and dusted, and there's the grid.
Yep, very big grid once again, of course, and it's Mackenzie Roon is on the front with Rayam Hakim again alongside him. Lee Aberdeen and Brent Ruiz are on the next row. Patrick Pieper and Andy Flint. Then it's Tony Jimenez, who really needs to gain some positions from 7th with Evan Way. Simon Frelick and Kevin Zwemster round out the top 10. Clark Williams gets ahead of Kenzie Newhoff in the number 1 car on that 6th row. It's Will McIntyre Jones and Jacques Willems next with Nick Carty and Zoltan Zamota. Manuel Vargas is in 17th position ahead of Patrick Williams, and then it's Xiao Aguilera alongside Vladislav Potapenko to round out the top 20. Ryan Berry and Adam Townsend make up an all-Canadian 11th row. It's Eddie Amos and Jeans Carvajal who round up the next row, with Matthew Gracie and Sebastian Grebelin behind. Giovanni Solito and Chris George Andalidis are next. Then it's Oscar Artinano and Stephen Ridders, followed by Rinus Catini, Ben Goyet, and the possible inclusions as well of Adrian Kulsade and Reed Dennis to round out the 34 cars, although those two are doubtful at the very back of the field. 34 cars, meaning that you'll get points no matter how you get to the end of this race, but it's far more than that from Brent Ruiz. If he just holds position here in this race, then he will be a champion at the end of this one.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how he gets on, whether or not he can wrap it up here. Is this going to be all or nothing? Is he aware that he could be champion here tonight? Is he going to get that extra bit of panic because of it? Is he going to get excited? Ooh, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles this one and whether or not he goes and wraps it up. Or are we going to go down to the final race of the season?
Well, you'd imagine he will be able to get this one complete at the end of this one, but you just never know what's going to happen around here. He's not finished outside of the top 11 so far, so he would need his worst result of the season so far if he were to lose the championship or lose the possibility of winning it here tonight. The lights now come on here at Oulton Park. Round 9 of the iGPFun F3 League for Season 1 of 2024 is underway, and Mackenzie Roon gets off to a good start. It's single file, in fact, in the top 4. It's Roon followed by Hakeem, then Aberdeen and Ruiz to round out those positions. Patrick Pieper gets ahead of Andy Flint on the way down towards Cascades here, but the first side-by-side battling is underway for 9th place. Simon Frelick gets up into that position. In fact, it's 8th for him, ahead of Evan Way. And then Kevin Dremster to round out the top 10. A clean start at the front here, and that's exactly what you need at Oulton Park, which is a circuit, of course, that provides very little room for error on the outside of some of these turns, with no tight runoff pretty much anywhere, really. And so mistakes do get punished around here. And it's a good thing that most of the top 20, in fact, have gotten single file in the first few corners.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? They do know the purple zone exists. There is no active overtakes until this run all the way down, up the hill, under the Advan Bridge and into Druids. So now they can actively overtake and try and make moves. Lee Aberdeen there as well. Brent Ruiz is sitting in 4th place. It's going to be what this man can do. What can Tony Jimenez do here today? He knows he needs to beat Brent Ruiz, and Ruiz needs to have an absolute shocker, which doesn't happen very often. They're going to come around and complete lap 1, and Mackenzie Roon, Hakeem and Aberdeen lead the way.
Clark Williams has gone off in the final corner, unfortunately, and so he drops well down the field. That's a real shame for him after qualifying quite well, actually. He was on the fringes of the top 10, but couldn't quite find himself on the way in there, and he's certainly not going to now. Matthew Gracie also drops down the field. May have had issues on the exit of turn 1 there, maybe on the run down towards Cascades as well. But unfortunately, a couple of drivers with problems there on this opening lap. It's a fairly short lap around here, of course, so we are going to tick these ones off quite quickly. There, off into the wall is Clark Williams, I'm going to presume that
Matthew
is.
Gracie.
Oh, that was Gracie, okay. So, don't know what happened to Williams then, but Matthew Gracie just did the classic thing, I guess, of going wide through turn 1 and getting straight into the wall.
But Williams did the same thing, coming out of Lodge, and then unfortunately too much power, and then he went unfortunately there as well. Brent Ruiz, Lee Aberdeen in the top 4 at the moment. Flint in Jimenez, still in 7th, not making gains as of yet, but he needs to start getting on with it because the laps are only 1:23 round here. So for Tony Jimenez, he needs to get a little bit of a shifty on, because you don't want to rely on Brent Ruiz making any mistakes, because he just hasn't made them this season. He's not leading the championship because he's been Mr. Inconsistent, is he?
No, exactly. He's been very good so far this season in that regard. Mostly clean start then here at Oulton Park. It's been good opening couple of laps here, although little overtaking. Looks like Manuel Vargas is dropping down the field here, outside of the top 20 for him, I'm afraid, and he's only just rejoining now. There he goes. I wonder if he ran wide through Cascades, maybe. Well, look at the answer here. He got hit actually. Was side by side with someone and went straight wide into the grass.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, you have to look at that precise moment there as well, as there was a big old gap between the two here once more, unfortunately for them. But Tony Jimenez slowly making places. He's trying to get up with Simon Frelick. Evan Way goes past him. If anything, he's losing more than he's gaining here for Tony Jimenez. He's down 2, and Evan Way, who we know has just been unbelievable this season, even by his own standards. I think he would say he's done an absolutely stellar job. He's now taken over Tony Jimenez, and then now Evan Way is into 8th. Lee Aberdeen, Brent Ruiz now is, this is all that matters, is whether or not Ruiz is going to fight Aberdeen, do we think, or whether or not he could be content to sit there.
Well, this used to be the championship battle. The gap now 44 points between the top 2, but effectively Lee Aberdeen, if he'd have appeared at one of the races that he didn't start during the middle of this season at round 6 and 7, then he would be that much closer to Brent Ruiz, and we really could have a grandstand finale on our hands. But this is also a chance for Brent Ruiz to really put his marker down on this season and say, I don't care how many rounds so-and-so has missed throughout this one and what issues various drivers have had. I deserve this championship, and I'm going to show you exactly why. He's not able to do that into Knickerbrook. That's just behind. Not like Andy Flint and Patrick Piper were getting quite close. Simon Frelick was there as well, not too far away. The field spreading out quite quickly actually here at Oulton Park. We're only at the end of 4 laps here, not very far into this race at all before we've seen some very big gaps emerging.
Yeah, we have. One of the gaps we have got, though, is Evan Ways, Wemstra, Jimenez, Newhoff, all involved here as well. So for Tony Jimenez, he can see Kevin Swemstra. Swemstra's just passed him. He put Jimenez down 3 places there. And unfortunately now for Tony Jimenez, he's going to have to try and do something out of the ordinary or something spectacular. But what that will be, I really cannot tell you, as we've got 30 laps still here at Oulton Park for these guys to run. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how Jimenez handles this. I'm not too sure if he's going to push it, if he's not going to push it, what's he going to do, how's he going to go about it. But at the moment, he's going backwards quicker than he's going forwards.
On board with Tony Jimenez at the moment, looking at the back of Kevin Dwemster's car, and there's Evan Way, who's leading this group around, and it's a real frustration for those caught behind Evan Way at the moment that he's not quite staying with the groups in front, and Kevin Dwemster's going to take matters into his own hands, if you like. He goes through at Knickerbrook, and so it'll be Evan Way, the one in second now, and then Kenji Newhoff in third. Yes, he just got through on Tony Jimenez, hasn't he? So
Yep.
They all run in line, but Newhoff is moving forward. A little bit of a surprise to see Newhoff so far down, I suppose, but he's not been at many rounds this season, so we can forgive him for a little bit maybe of out of practice, and some cobwebs need to be blown away during this race for him.
Yeah, Vargas just looked like he's had another incident as well. It's been a shame, really, because when Newhoff is here, he's so quick. He's right up there. He's a double champion. He deserves to be where he is, but it's just a shame for Newhoff that he just couldn't be here more, unfortunately. There again, as Raheem Hakim and Rune battling it out there. Doodler in YouTube chat. Go Mackenzie and Marion. Good defending Mackenzie so far. So yeah, some great action taking place here. And then we've got Zoltan Zamora, Will McIntyre Jones, Tony Jimenez, Newhoff, Evan Waits. Webb's just breaking away a little bit here, Ewan. He's doing a good job at the moment, just kind of escaping away and opening up bits by bit there as well. So yeah, very interesting evening of racing so far, but it was all about what this man was going to do, Tony Jimenez, and unfortunately he's down 4. So I'm thinking if Brent Ruiz kind of stays where he is, that could be it there. Patrick Williams is there. He's been into the wall, unfortunately, by the looks of it. And unfortunately for Patrick Williams, this is why, as he's... Oh! I think there was Graveland with him. It was Graveland with him, and unfortunately they come down on each other. But Rune, Hakim, Aberdeen, and Ruiz here out in front.
It's all a bit odd. Looks like Evan Way has dropped down as well. Did I see him off the track for an extended period of time too? May have done.
No,
So
I haven't
he's
got
down.
anything.
No?
No, I think maybe he's just lost positions. Kevin Swebster.
Okay.
Swebster was looking quick, so he has cleared Way, and Way's now got Nuoff behind him, and Jimenez has got McIntyre Jones. Well, but us at home, McIntyre Jones is literally that close to Tony Jimenez. So Jimenez, unfortunately, he's going to need to be a little bit careful. Otherwise, he's going to be losing that place very shortly.
Okay. A bit surprised about that, but fair enough. At least Evan Way has knocked off the road in that case then. Tony Jimenez tries to hang on here from, oh dear, Will McIntyre Jones, but he's not going to do it like that. That was very wide from Jimenez, and he's going to be on the defensive now into Druid's corner. Before he can do all of that, Will McIntyre Jones gets down his inside through the double left-hander, right-hander, excuse me, and then into the final turn. It should be Will McIntyre Jones's position here with the ideal line. Dr. Zamota was quite kind to Jimenez that he didn't try and get involved there, but this is just going from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Antonio Jimenez, and it looks like this slight run of inconsistency has come at the worst possible time. Coming into the end of the first half of the season, the first 5 rounds of 10, we hadn't seen him finish outside of the top 8 in the standings, but unfortunately he's finished outside of the top 8 twice since then, and he's currently running outside of the top 8 as well, so it's not looking good for him right now, and that's exactly why he's losing so many points to the championship leader, Brent Ruiz.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame, really. I really like Tony. He's always, tried, and he's always been there, and he's probably deserving, and I think, he's got an opportunity to be there. It's just didn't quite work here. That's the problem, and he needed it to really kind of work for him, and at the moment it's just not working for him here. Tony Jimenez, McIntyre Jones and Zoltan Zamata. He did clear McIntyre Jones again, mind you, so he is starting to gain positions, but let's hope he can start going forward. But unfortunately, he's got Kenzie Nuoff who's gaining on Evan Way, but Stephen Ridders, Cavallo, Tinano, Carty, Williams and Salito are having a good old ding-dong a little bit further down. We'll keep an eye on that lead as Mackenzie Roon has got 3 temps at the moment, with 2 temps back after that to Aberdeen.
Nick Carty on the defensive into the final corner here with Clark Williams trying to make his way around the outside, and Williams qualifying actually very well here, so you'd imagine he's got a bit of pace to show here at Oulton Park, and so through he goes in towards turn number 1. That is now 23rd position for the Englishman ahead of Nick Carty, so good overtake from him, and a top 20 may be on the cards, but I think Clark Williams will be kicking himself a little bit at the mistake he made earlier on to drop himself into the traffic quite so much here, because he's found himself a long way off the lead, as you can see, more than 20 seconds off the lead, and more importantly than that, he has to make a lot of overtakes to get back to where he used to be.
Yeah, we're going to jump back up because Simon Frelick has just closed down on Andy Flint now. Flint in that wonderful pink liveried machine. He's going to have to do some battling here, because Frelick is going to give him a whole load of grief. I can tell you that much. He's not going to lighten up here. And for Andy Flint, it's going to be interesting to see what he does and how he goes about this business. There is Simon Frelick right behind Flint. How long can he hold him for? That's going to be the question.
It is really, because you can't see him catching those in front if this situation continues, but equally if he's defending really difficult or really hard, then you will see that drivers just behind that battle begin to catch up. This is the view from the front of Lee Aberdeen, who's begin to alleviate that pressure from Brent Ruiz and started to apply it to Graham Hakim just up in front, and Mackenzie Roon as well, who's not too far away either. So it's it might be looking good for Lee Aberdeen, who doesn't often start brilliantly, but does certainly finish well and makes some overtakes towards the end, has some speed towards the end. He's on the outside at Knickerbrook right now and just brake a little bit early, make sure that he doesn't go around the outside there, because that would be very brave, but he might have a look in towards Druids, and this could be a whole way around the outside for Lee Aberdeen. Into the zone he goes, but can't do it. He decides not to, and that may be the best choice for now.
Yeah, there was a double move there, but now Brent Ruiz is going to come into him and try and go at him. You saw Aberdeen turn in, and then you saw him come back out of it as well. He was kind of went, and then he was like, no, because that's going to end up in tears. Ruiz and Aberdeen, what? I don't know if Ruiz is really paying attention to the standings. I'm not really sure what his situation is and whether or not he's even looking. But I think here for Brent Ruiz, it's going to be one of them moments, because he's a racing driver, right? He wants to race, but how much is he going to chance racing here with Lee Aberdeen? That's going to be the question.
I think the smart thing would be to not chance it at all and just not do anything here. Just sit behind, although it's maybe the more boring choice. It's probably the sensible one in this situation, because the DNF is no good. Now Lee Aberdeen looks to the outside again. He followed the slipstream up the straights there of Hakim, but it's almost like watching a replay of one lap ago. Aberdeen tries to get the exit off of Knickerbrook here and go for it at Druids, but he's even less close on this occasion. He doesn't hang it around the outside either. Does he look for the exit? Well, he can't even really get that, and now Brent Ruiz is very close indeed. And actually, we're not seeing him sit back and just wait here. We are seeing him begin to attack. Somewhat of a surprise, but I suppose you may as well in this situation, and he can't quite do it in towards the final corner and stays fourth.
Yeah, that's what Aberdeen is seeing. The blue machine of Ruiz right behind him here, going round turn one, down through Old Hall, the avenue into Cascades, the left-hander at the bottom here again. Now they're going to get moving off down Lakeside and into Island. You can see the track map at the top right-hand corner. You can see there's cars literally all the way through this circuit. They're coming in through Islands now as well. Hakim runs a little bit wide. Was that Aberdeen's chance? No, he slots in behind him. Now we've got Ruiz trying to get in there as well. I think Ruiz he's got to err on the side of caution, but I think at the end of the day, if an opportunity arises, he's got to take it.
Let's see. You don't often get opportunities handed to you on a plate round here. Outside of Knickerbrook again. It's the same story. There's no way through at the moment, but it is very, very close between them. So it's hard to see where this battle is going to go next, really, because there seems to be only one section of the circuit where Aberdeen gets anywhere close to overtaking, and then he's just not able to do it every single time, and that's happened 3 laps in a row now.
Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? You know, Oulton Park's very difficult to overtake. It's not very wide, and unfortunately, when you get into certain areas for these cars, it makes it very difficult. You've seen how it is with GT3s on here. Sometimes it's just impossible. So for now, I don't know, because of the fact that we've still got, what have we got, 22 laps remaining. It's whether or not Aberdeen is trying to unsettle Hakim and just see what he does, what goes on. Can he pick him up here? Can he close him going through Islands? Can he get him through Shell Oils? It's all a waiting, patient game at the moment for Aberdeen, I think. Well, that's what I'm thinking he's doing. However, I may be completely wrong, of course.
Well, I think it's one of Hakim's early races, of course, in this championship, so it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect that he might be a bit of an inexperienced here and he might be able to have a go here. The Aberdeen to the outside he goes now into Knickerbrook, but it's like watching a replay, isn't it? 4 times in a row, although this time Brent Ruiz decides to seize his opportunity in a battle that he doesn't realistically need to get involved in to clinch the championship here tonight at Oulton Park. Brent Ruiz gets to the inside at Druids and does go through, so finally the replays stop and the new action begins. Brent Ruiz getting himself onto the podium places in this penultimate race of the season, but there's still a long way to go here, because we've seen Andy Flint and Simon Frelick and Andy Flint in that order catching up to these guys, so this group is a bit bigger now.
Yes, it definitely is. We've also got Eddie Amos having a good old ding-dong with Potapenko down here with Ryan Berry as they're coming up, of course, over Deer Leap and then into Old Hall. But Amos battling away with Potapenko there. A stellar job at the moment for Eddie Amos, up 6 places currently, and he's still got quite a lot of time to gain a few more if he can here. And our first one would be getting past Potapenko.
See if he can do it into turn 4 here. He'd be pretty brave here, but Potapenko seemingly feels the need to defend on the way into the very fast left-hander and now the hairpin, which is a little bit more difficult to overtake on. You only need the inside line through there, but now Amos will look for the move, maybe if he gets to the inside of Knickerbrook, but it's always so difficult to do that too. Just preserve the inside line here. You're normally on your way to holding on to the place, and indeed the same applies to Potapenko here, who hangs on to 16th place, but it's a good moment to see Amos gaining position so well here and so quickly.
Yeah, Amos nearly getting up alongside Potapenko there as well. We're keeping an eye on the top 5 now. Well, I'd say 5. It's 2nd to 6th at the moment, battling it out. The time's around about 2 tenths here. Eddie Amos doing a stellar job with Potapenko. He's got Berry, Ridders and Williams right behind them as well. So this could be a nice little tidy battle as this heats up, as we've got 20 to go on the clock. But let's go back up front. Is Ruiz going to have a go with Hakim? That's going to be the question.
Well, I think we're hoping to see him have a go here, but would it be really sensible for him to? I'm not so sure.
No.
I don't think it is either, but he is going for moves, so here we go again. Outside of Hakim he goes now into Knickerbrook. He's actually more than alongside. He's actually got his nose ahead, but the outside line just doesn't prevail around there, and that's the danger right there. You've got to be careful on the outside because Lee Aberdeen is there in waiting to take a position from you. Now he'll go for it again at Druids. Again, it doesn't work out, and there's not only Lee Aberdeen, in fact, it's 3 other drivers right behind looking to take that position.
The problem is you've got Ruiz, you've got Aberdeen, you've got Frelick, you've got Hakim, and you've got Andy Flynn. All of these are generally from the different parts of the world, right? And we know what happens, and I don't want to make a big deal of song or dance about it, but if they get too close, anything can happen. If they make physical contact, great, but they can also make contact without actually hitting each other.
Yeah, it's got to factor into the thoughts right now. They've got to make sure that they keep it clean here and don't hit one another. Otherwise, there'll be particular arguments after the race you might expect here.
That's such a nice way of putting it. They might have a little bit of a ding-dong. So let's see what goes on. But I'm very interested to see how this one pans out. I'm worried for Ruiz because although Brent is a racing driver, he doesn't need to be a racing driver here. We said he needs to finish just inside the top 12, and he's taken the championship, especially with Jimenez all the way down in 9th and not looking to get probably any further. He's now trying to go out on the outside again. Oh, Brent. I don't know if anybody can get hold of him, but you need to tell him he don't need to be doing this at this moment in time.
Clearly he's very confident. Oh, no contact! And Brent Ruiz is in the wall along with Lee Aberdeen. This could be absolutely huge for the championship. Brent Ruiz is in the wall with no front wing, and he's trying to get himself back onto the road all over again here. Now he is managed it finally, but Brent Ruiz has got suspension damage. He'll have to use a fast repair here once he can get back onto the right side of the road, in both senses of the word, and now he'll scrape his way along the pit lane, and he will be taking repairs here at Oulton Park. Now, huge moment as regards to this championship. Tony Jimenez is in 7th position. Brent Ruiz will be taking his drop week as things stand. Here is the incident with himself and Lee Aberdeen.
Oh, Aberdeen, tyre to tyre. Ruiz there as well in the wall, and what we feared has just happened. It didn't need to happen. We said it didn't need to happen, and unfortunately for these guys, it did happen, and that was a kick in the teeth for Aberdeen and Ruiz. You can see it here. They go tyre to tyre, boom, up we go, and that is the view from Aberdeen's front right, and he's in the wall there as well. Brent Ruiz down in 27th. Tony Jimenez, 7th place, Ewan.
Well, yes, but he's only gaining 4 points at the moment. The gap would still be 19 at the end of today because of the drop week of Brent Ruiz. Ruiz has found himself down in 27th at the moment, so the maximum amount of points that he could gain at the next race, Tony Jimenez, is 26, which means he just needs to be within 26 points. And right now, this is enough. So the fact that Ruiz is so far down means that Jimenez is involved in the championship fight. He's just passing a lap car there, by the way. as this is a real battle for 8th
Oh,
position.
he's gone off.
Oh, and
Oh.
off. Well, McIntyre Jones, the grass is still a little bit slippery on our racing. Maybe not quite as much as before, but he's still found himself in the wall.
Oh, Will. Simon Frelick and Hakim are close together as well. Oh, it's Frelick's gone round. Oh, no. Simon Frelick and Hakim getting wheel to wheel. Did Jimenez get another place? Nearly. He's coming up now. He's going to have a good old go because Frelick is there in front of him. And now for Tony Jimenez, I believe that's actually Brett Ruiz behind these. It is. So Brett Ruiz is in the middle. What's he going to do at the moment? Because obviously blue flags and lap cars.
Well, this is awkward now. Brent Ruiz, by the way, needs 19th position. If Tony Jimenez finishes 7th, Ruiz needs 19th to clinch the championship today. Otherwise, it will go to a final race. And at the moment, Tony Jimenez might even look like getting 6th position because Frelick will be a little bit flustered after that little incident, I'm afraid. Just in behind Brent Ruiz, Tony Jimenez goes for it and gets the position. And just increases the requirement for Brent Ruiz slightly. So now the American needs 18th place, although there's a car off in the background. Don't know who that is.
Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams. He's a little bit further down by the looks of things.
Where did this... The thing is, we've got a story now. We have literally got a story, haven't we? Because if Jimenez catches Ruiz to lap him, does Ruiz move over? Because he knows... Oh, he is moving over. Oh, Ruiz is he stopping? He is stopping.
He's getting out the way entirely.
Oh.
Is he No, he carries on. No. What? He's just waiting for a gap in the traffic, but if he waits here, then he'll be waiting for quite a while.
Oh. No, he's gone. Jump back to the pits.
Wow.
Oh.
So, at the moment, Tony Jimenez brings the gap down to, admittedly, only 18 points. But realistically, if Ruiz scores a 0 on this round, it means that the final round has to count. So whatever he does matters in that race. And that's the pressure that's going to be put onto him if this situation stays the same.
I can tell you what, from Brent Ruiz's point of view, if he doesn't complete this, he will get it. He will be gutted. He will be gutted because not only that, look at where we're at in the rookies as well. Roon was only 9 points back, and now Roon's in the front, and Brent Ruiz is out. So he could lose technically if it all goes wrong next week. He could lose 2 championships in one go, and purely because of the fact he got involved in battles he didn't need to. That was it. We'd said, you had 12, sir. You didn't need to be there. Yes, obviously Aberdeen made contact, but he didn't need to be there. He didn't need to be battling. He could have sat behind Aberdeen. He could have just stayed in the top 12, and he would have left tonight champion. And he isn't.
Well, he might be wishing that he did now, to be honest. By the way, Mackenzie Roon is still in the conversation for this championship as well. He's currently gaining, Mackenzie Roon, by the way, is currently gaining 10 points from being 24 back, so he's only 14 back at the moment. Maybe Roon is a more realistic contender. Evan Way at the moment is still in this race. He would be gaining 6 points from being 29 back. He will be 23 back at the start of the next race. And Lee Aberdeen, unfortunately, not really involved because he would be losing further points with the demise of Ruiz and the fact he could lose, theoretically, so many points at the final race. I guess Lee Aberdeen would still be mathematically involved, but it really would be about those front 4. I mean, we've covered this series now for a whole year, James. We haven't seen a championship quite settled like this. We've seen 2 driver finales on an occasion in Season 2 last year, and of course in Season 4 last year as well, but we've not seen a 4-driver finale where almost anyone can win.
No. That's the thing, when we went into this evening's race, right, there was still people mathematically possible. Varani, Aberdeen, Way, Roon, Jimenez and Ruiz. I am going to be trying to see the scores after this round because I think this is going to be could well be one of the closest ones we go into. And if Ruiz gets it all wrong next week, 2 championships gone because Rune should take the rookies and Jimenez could possibly take the overall. So, yeah, unfortunately for him there, not a good idea. Robert Ridgway, Spicy's put in YouTube chat with Zoom Zoom Room, and then a crazy race so far, and Mackenzie is so good. Yeah, Rune is winning quite comfortably at the moment here as well, and great battling all the way through. And I don't think for us, it's really difficult, right? Because obviously we know Ruiz has got better stats than Jimenez over the season. We know that already. Top 5s, 8 for Ruiz, 2 for Jimenez. Top 10, 6 for Jimenez there, but 8 for Ruiz on that point. So wins, Ruiz 6, Jimenez 1. You know, so average start point, this is the thing, isn't it? Average start for Ruiz, for Jimenez is 7. The average start for Ruiz is 2nd. The average finish for Ruiz is 1st. The average finish for Jimenez is 8th. So as underdogs go, as a Joseph and Goliath, or David and Goliath scenario. I can't remember what it was. David and Goliath. Yeah, you never know. David and Goliath situation, that's what we've got, because Ruiz is the Goliath and Jimenez is David. And at the moment, it's, well, if anyone's going into this. Joseph and his amazing Technicolor dream coat with Goliath. So there you go.
I don't think that's quite in the Bible. Is it in the Bible? Anyway.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Have you read it?
Someone will know, but not us. Anyway.
Look where Evan Way is. I'm sorry, I want to give a shout out again. Evan Way up 3 places, sitting in 5th. Stunning. This man, whatever he's taken this season, everybody needs to get on it, because whatever his attitude is, whatever he's done, whatever he's gone in to try and do, he has done so well, Evan Way. Star driver of the year for me, easily there as well. But Andy Flint going at Kevin's Webster here as well.
Yeah, and it's looking like, by the way, that Brent Ruiz has indeed retired from this race, so that may well be it for him. And it's all up to the others here to try and gain as many points as they can in this race. Tony Jimenez is going to find that difficult to do unless these two collide, I think, is the one last hope that he's got between Kevin Zwemstra and Andy Flint. Zwemstra at the moment will be gaining 8 points on the day to Brent Ruiz, but he is already unfortunately out of championship contention. At the start of the day, he was 53 behind. This was only bringing 45 behind, with a maximum 43 on the table at the final round. So I can't lie, I'm not entirely sure why he's been ruled out of contention, because he has a couple of points to go in here, but never mind. He's very much an outsider.
Yeah, it might change after this one. I think it was dependent on point scoring, to be honest. So it's possible that the website might change up there, but it's normally correct. And the guys at iRace, though, an absolutely stellar job with their website and their scoring system. So let's see how it all pans out. I think, you know, we've got almost, it's like a fairy tale, and this is where we're at. Are we going to get Cinderella and her glass slipper, or are we going to get the Wicked Witch? That's going to be the question. Can Jimenez take the Cinderella slipper fairy tale story, or is Ruiz going to come back and be like, no, this is mine, I'm going to have this?
Well, I think he's still got very much the upper hand as things stand, with Jimenez only capitalising by gaining 5 points on the day. But this is a very Antonio Jimenez sort of race, really. He's currently scoring 38 points as things stand. He's actually not done that since the opening round of the season, but he's been in this sort of region time and time again. In fact, he's finished from 6th to 8th throughout the first 5 rounds of this season. He's not finished there again since, but that just shows you the remarkable consistency that he actually, his finish spread only was across 2 positions or 3 positions for the half of the season that we had to open out season 1. What a remarkable, consistent driver he is.
Yep.
Currently running in 6th position at the moment, hoping for issues ahead that he can gain some more. And Mackenzie Room right now can't gain any more. Evan Way probably hoping for the same, as Kevin Schwemster is going to get overtaken by Andy Flint. There he goes. Flint round the outside at Knickerbrook. You don't see that very often at all. But through goes Andy Flint, and Kevin Schwemster will have to find his way back through again here, because that was a remarkable overtake for 3rd.
Oh, no. although this worked out really well, now they've swapped back again. Swemstra back in front of Flynn. They were very close, mind you, off round up through Clay Hill and through Druids there. It was very close with these guys battling here once again. Evan Way is slowly closing in, 1.5 seconds. Is he going to get there here as well? 9 laps to go. Do we think he can get involved? Is Swemstra and Flint going to come and, unfortunately, each other and crash into each other like we saw with Aberdeen and Ruiz? Oh, don't know. This is too hot for me.
It's very close to call at the moment between the two of them. Into turn 5 they go. There's a space on the podium up for grabs here as well, don't forget, in this penultimate round of the season, so that's worth fighting over for sure. Kevin Swemstra back in front again here. It'll be 9 laps to go at the line, but those 9 laps are going to go by pretty quickly indeed. So Andy Flint is going to have to find his way through pretty quickly if he's going to do it at all here. This is by far the closest battle inside the top 10. The next one down in 7th position as some drivers begin to get close. Back there, Zoltan's and Martin Kenzie Newhoff, and Patrick People was there as well, though he's dropped back just in the last few moments. It's Newhoff who's really trying to make the moves at the moment.
Yeah, and then we've got this front battle as well. Flint there, Newhoff there, McCarty's in the mix. Scattini might be just about as well. 26 runners out of the 34. We didn't have Dennis O'Connor unfortunately take to the grid, so we've got Berry, Gracie, Williams, Ruiz, McIntyre, Jones, Clark Williams and Manuel Vargas there as well, unfortunately. But Andy Flynn doing a stellar job. It's slowly, it's coming down almost like a 10th a lap for Evan Way. Gets within the 1.4 mark and then it goes back out to 1.6, and it's just teetering. He needs these two to go ding-donging side by side. He needs them to have a good old battle to bring him right into play here. But Andy Flint, let's see what he can do with Kevin Swemstra.
Evan Way certainly does need that a little bit. A couple of points certainly wouldn't go amiss. He's currently 23 behind. He'd like to be only 21 behind, although that still leaves it very much within the hands of Brent Ruiz going into the final race. At the moment, Brent Ruiz would be 14 points behind, which means a top 15 from Brent Ruiz would be good enough at the final round as things stand, and that's the best it can be for Mackenzie Roon. If Jimenez to win, it would only be 1 point better off. That's what a strong situation that Brent Ruiz is in, but I honestly thought there's not a way that Brent Ruiz doesn't clinch the title here tonight, but it just shows that the iGPFun F3 League does continue to deliver again and again, and it means that season after season we get championship finales here where we just do not know what's going to happen because there's so much riding on that final race all over again.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's really weird because we had this all mapped out. Ruiz come in, finishes in the top 12, jobs are good, and championship wraps up before we get to next week. But it hasn't. There's been another chapter. That other chapter has come the fact that they've made contact, and that was all day the fear that we were going to have when Ruiz was battling away. That was it. We said, you don't need to, you don't need to, you don't need to, and bam, he didn't need to. And it was all gone in a split second, wasn't it? And that's the thing for him. There was no getting out of that. Ruiz and Aberdeen, it was just one of them things. They were in such a tight group pack. They braked, and unfortunately, wheel to wheel, up in the air, jobs are good. But I'm wondering if Ruiz is now sitting there thinking, what have I done? Did I really need to be there?
Yeah. I mean, easy to say that after the fact, of course, isn't it? But it may well be going through his thought process at the moment. I wonder what he's thinking as well about Lee Aberdeen at the moment, as Kenzie Newhoff makes a fantastic run off the final corner to get alongside Zoltan Zamotta right now. Back down the inside and through into 7th position. Good overtake from him. But yeah, I wonder if Ruiz is having a few regrets right now about that battle, because he didn't need to be involved in it, but he was at the end of the day. And at the time, to be honest, I didn't see anything wrong with him doing that, because I thought, well, he's in such a strong position that even if there is a minor problem, he'll be okay. But actually, that's not been the reality. He's had a pretty big problem, and clearly it's not been able to resolve itself for whatever reason, because he pulled off the road on the way towards Knickerbrook and decided to call it a day there as well. He's only completed 17 laps here today of the required 32 to be classified. So he's only just gone over half that. He won't get any points from this race at all. And as I said earlier, and I'll reiterate again, his last race really matters. He cannot do anything other than a top 15 during that final race. Otherwise, he will be in the hands of others at that stage of the season. And that's exactly where he doesn't want to be. And he didn't really need to be there based on what we saw at the start of this session. He could have just rode around and consolidated a nice finish inside the top 10.
Yeah, that was it. That's all he had to do. Salito and also Scatini here are going at it once more. Simon Frolic just up the road. We're coming into the last 5. It looks like Rune, if he can keep this on track, should wrap this up. But, as we've seen, it doesn't always go to plan, and he has got back markers coming into play as well, because that is Eddie Amos there, and unfortunately for Amos, he did this, and that is going down into Ireland. That's running wide, is it? No, it's not. Okay, fair play to Eddie Amos. Oh, he cooks it going into Shell, and then unfortunately there as well loses some places as Potapenko goes past him. Once again, Aguilera is battling with Artinanu here. These guys are further down though, they're in 22nd and 23rd. And then we've still got Nuoff with Zamota and Swemstra trying to get away from Andy Flynn.
Yeah, they're not too far from Ray and Hakim here, but I don't think they're close enough. Can Andy Flynn find his way onto the podium here at the very end? It's a personal best there from Mackenzie Rune over the line again at the end of 30 laps here at Oulton Park. Just 5 to go in the penultimate round of the iGPFun F3 League, and what a dramatic penultimate round it has been. We will have a championship finale. We've covered this series for a year now on the JPB channel, and it means this result anyway means that we've had a championship finale on every single round or every single season that we've covered, all 4 seasons that we've covered apart from season 3 of 2023 last year. That means 3 out of 4, a 75% hit rate in terms of championship finales, and that's a fantastic thing, despite drop weeks which do often prevent championship finales sometimes.
Yeah, but we've just been lucky, I think, as Swemstra and Flint. No, yes. Okay. Good job, Andy Flint there as well. I was wincing a little bit there, Ewan. I didn't know he was going to get through, but he did a stellar job there and took the outside line. Now, can he hold it? This is the problem, and going down into the final lodge corner. Can he hold it now? Swemstra there as well. Evan Way's dropped well back, but I'm not even going to diss Evan Way for what he's achieved this season. You go as far back as you want, mate. Just don't go back another 3 seconds, because you've got Tony Jimenez who's trying to fight for championship points there as well. But Andy Flint doing a great job. He's battling away. He's another man that as the season's gone on, he seems to have got improvements. But it's just a shame we couldn't see this Andy Flint right near the beginning. I think that's the thing for us. I think it's hard when we sit here and you sit back and you think, oh, you're doing so well, but why can't we see this earlier? And this is where it reflects in his scores. Average start is 11th, his average finish is 14th. Top 10's only 4 times, top 5's only 2. You know, and now he's got it again. Unfortunately, he's off the side of the circuit coming out of Shell Oils, and Swemstra says thank you very much.
Well, in the championship standings, Andy Flint has only finished outside the top 10 twice since the summer of 2021, which tells you everything you need to know about him. He's been here for a long time in the iGPFun F3 League, and he's been very often up there having decent championship finishes, and even been on the top 3 of the end of a championship season as well. So not a bad driver by any means. His Sultan's Mafia goes wide. Not sure whether that's as a result of an overtake by Kenton North, or whether he's just giving chase to him at the moment for 7th place.
Yeah, he's giving chase at the moment. I'm not saying Flint's a bad driver, by the way. I'm not saying that. There's just, obviously, as we see the season goes on, it just gets better and better. And it's almost like just he's come firing out the box straight off for me. And I think his average finish and start would completely change, and he would be right up amongst it, because he's clearly got the pace. So I think he will do really well, as Nick Carty and Stephen Ridders are fighting it out for the 13th and 12th place. Ridders is up 18 places, mind you. So Stephen Ridders in front there, up 18 places. What a stellar run from him.
Looks like he's moving on forward, and he'll be the biggest mover forward throughout the day. We often see actually the biggest mover forward be quite far down the order and just picking up places as a result of issues for others, but that's not the case for Ridders. He's really been making some great overtakes here. You can see him here from the onboard of Nick Carty in 12th position. Through into turn 5 they go. Bit wide, but that's okay. You can get away with it on the banking. And look at the way he just tucks in for a late apex there. That's exactly what you can do and somewhat need to do through the hairpin. Late apex, down off the banking, use gravity, use a good exit, and he'll be able to hang on into the fast right-hander at the end of this straight here.
Yeah, he should be able to hang on as they start going up the hill through Knickerbrook, up under the water tower there. So let's see how he gets on. Ridders is doing a great job holding on to this. Through Druids they go. Now they've got that run down into Lodge Corner. It looks like he should hold it on there a little bit longer. One man is desperately trying to hold on. Here's from the boy, Jack Willems. Go on, Jack. Give him a shout out every week. Leave me alone, good old Jack Willems. I love a little bit of Jack Willems, but he's another one. It's so hard. You know, he messaged me, I think, back at the beginning of the season and said, James, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. And it's just been one of them things. It's so difficult for all of these guys with these amount of cars on track, with these amount of fields that we have as well. You know, it's always difficult to score points when you've got 34, 44, 54 at times on the circuit, isn't it? Something's always going to be happening. And unfortunately for Willems, he seems to always be there or thereabouts when it is happening.
Yeah, it's a skill and sometimes a little bit of luck to be avoiding that. Looking for a top 10 here though. Adam Talsma weaving around a little bit to try and hang on to that at the moment as Mackenzie Moon comes over the start finish line. He's now just under 90 seconds away from taking a win here at Oulton Park. Another personal best from him actually on that last lap there. The fastest lap, by the way, in the race, going to Kenzie Newhoff at the moment as Williams gets quite close on the way to Druids. He's probably the closest to making a move of anyone inside the top 10 actually, but not this time around. It'll have to be a last lap pass if there is one at all. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Rune at the moment. He's on his way out through Shell Oils, up that run through the hilltop. Now Williams is there again. It looks like Frelick's been, and well, Frelick and Newhoff has taken a little bit of a sidetrack, but I'm not overly worried because they've probably just done what Williams has done there as well. So can Jacques Williams clear Adam Talsma towards the end? This is his run. He's got to get the run down through Island if his can. Mackenzie Roon through Druids. He's got one more corner to go for Mackenzie Roon, and he would have wrapped this up here once again. We'll come back to that one. We'll see Roon over the line because he is going to take first place. Hakeem is going to get second, and Zwemstra should wrap up third. Yeah, it's been a good drive from Mackenzie Roon and an important one as well, as he comes over the line here at Oulton Park to win the penultimate round of the iGPFun F3 League for Season 1 of 2024, putting himself into second in this championship. First battles come over the line as Swemstra hangs on over Flint for third. Tony Jimenez needs this sixth position, and he does just hang on ahead of Kenzie Newhoff to gain 5 points on the day on Brent Ruiz to bring that gap down to 18 points between those two for that final race. And finally, the final spots inside the top 10. Adam Talsma hangs on ahead of Jacques Willems, and Stephen Ridders becomes the most places gained throughout today's race, hanging on for 12th place.
There, Jacques unfortunately did drop away, so didn't quite make it. What about Scattini with Aberdeen? Aberdeen's still going there, so great job for Aberdeen as he's still running. But yeah, unfortunately not away. It kind of went down for him. Chris George Angelidis is going to be one of the last ones over the line. Potapenko should actually be the final person running here as well. But yeah, great evening of racing. Absolutely incredible again. And we've got another high-low story kicking off. A chapter is written in the 2024 Season 1.
It's not quite closed just yet. The story yet to be complete, with the final round coming up in 1 week's time, so I hope that you'll join us for that one when we get around to it here on the JPB YouTube channel. That will be at the famous Intl Argos, of course, where so many famous season finales have taken place in the past, so I hope that you'll join us for that one. Let's just have a look at the results at the end of 35 laps around here before we leave you here tonight. And it's Mackenzie Roon who takes the win here. His winning margin at the end, by the way, about 5 seconds ahead of Ryan Hakim. Kevin Zemster joined them on the podium by holding off Andy Flint. Evan Way was on his own there, but does move up in the championship and gets a bit closer to the leader. So does Tony Jimenez, who held off Kenzie North there for 6th place. So to the Motor, Patrick Piper and Adam Townsend round out the top 10, with Jack Williams and Stephen Ridders just missing out. Nick Carty was just behind him, with Simon Frelick dropping down to 14th during that race. Sebastian Gravlin was 15th ahead of James Carvajal, who held on from Giovanni Solito. Lee Aberdeen just got ahead of Rinus Gattini at the end there, with Ben Goet running out the top 20. It was Oscar Nano 21st ahead of João Aguilera, with Chris George Andalidis and Vatsa Potapenko the final drivers on the lead lap. Eddie Amos finished 1 lap down with Ryan Berry, and then we've got those non-classified today. Matthew Gracie, Patrick Williams, Brent Ruiz, of course, the all-important championship leader, Will McIntyre Jones, Clark Williams and Manuel Vargas, all not classified. Reed Dennis and Adrian Kulsted never took the start of this race. So that is the end of it here at Oulton Park, an engaging one, and it sets up a great championship finale in 1 week's time.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Where can we see the driver standings? Well, we've just shown you, but if you're meaning on their website as well, this should allow you to see it there as well. Give it about probably, what is it, generally 10 minutes, I think it is, and then it will update and you'll be able to see how close everyone is. Scott Barton, where were you this evening? Congratulations, Roon. What a drive there as well. Scott, an Australian, I do know, and he does drive in another series there. So I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm going to come into next week so excited about how it's going to go, and I can't wait. And guess where it is? Where is the final season finale, Mr. O'Leary?
Interlagos again.
Yeah, buddy. It is at Interlagos, my favourite circuit, so I am dead excited about that one.
Yeah, I say again, I don't think we've covered a season finale there before, but you get what I mean. Lots of season finales happen around there, and I'm very excited to have it there once again in 1 week's time as well. So make sure you subscribe to the JP YouTube channel so that you can catch that one in 1 week's time, and of course all the other racing that will go on in the meantime. For now, though, we'll bid our farewells. I've been O'Leary alongside James Parfitt here for this evening, and until we see you in 1 week's time at Interlagos for our season finale, it's goodbye for now.